Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Black Man Rankings, where we do rankings, reviews, and everything. We kill barbershop talk with King talk instead. Today I have Black Mellow, and we will be followed with some other panelists very soon. Today's topic, Black, is the Julius Jones situation. In Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma, man, has been very they just been they have this this death penalty, and they've been botching it, and they've been giving people the wrong drugs and stuff, but they seem to be in a hurry to really get to Julius Jones. And the guy really hasn't had a fair trial. Okay, he has a bunch of people who are against him. There were jury panelists who said that they should take him outside and do some things to him. And it's just been a mess, man. Let me ask you this. What is your stance on the death penalty in general?
Well, that's a good question. The death penalty, in my opinion, should not be trusted to fallible man. Meaning, if you ain't nothing but a man yourself, you put on pants one day at a time just like me, you do not have a say if I live or die. You do not bring me into this world. I think man's powers ought to be limited. I don't think corruptible men should have a say if somebody is worthy of living or dying, because man is corruptible. So because of that, and the example, well, ain't an example, but it's the irony is this. When I was younger, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a park. I'm like in kindergarten, something like that. I'm watching, we on a blacktop because there wasn't nothing on our for recess. We didn't have nothing at our access to play with besides a kickball and maybe a sandbag or something like that. Girls had jump rope or something like that. So that's all we had to work with. So it was boring, to say the least. We're in this big area fenced in with nothing to do really, but run around. So, best friend at the time, he pretty much got bored. He said, I want to go on the other side of that fence. Well, the other side of the fence happened to be a playground. That's the community park. So he was like, I'm bored. I want to go over there. I understood that. I wanted to go over there too. But something told me, don't go over there. So I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna go. Well, he was like, bark, bark, start making little chicken sounds, calling me a chicken. We used to say that back in the day when we were scared. Chicken, chicken, And then he went on the other side of the fence. He ran over there. I'm leaning on the fence like a Hallmark movie, looking through the fence like, man, he's gonna have fun. So I look at him, I watch him go all the way up to the swings. He starts swinging, he starts sliding, and he teasing me the whole time. I'm like, dang, I should just go over there. All I had to do was go through the fence, through the gate.
Right.
It was easy to do. But I chose, but the Most High told me, don't go over there. Specifically, don't go over there. So I stopped right then and there in my tracks, even though nothing was stopping me. So he went over there, he having fun, and he looking back, and he teasing and this and that. And then somebody walked up to him. Little conversation or whatever. Snatched him. Left, ran off with him.
And you seen this
Went behind
seen the whole thing, or?
Yeah, I seen the whole thing. I seen the whole thing. So I'm watching him run off with my homeboy. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, I'm a kindergartner. I'm thinking, okay, that must be his father. Maybe it's his uncle. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think nothing of it. The bell ring. We all go in. You know, they had the little designated adult outside, whooshing back in. Come on, let's go back in class. Let's go back in. And then they start doing a head count. Where is he at? Oh, I'm like, well, I think his dad came and got him. They're like, no. Next thing I knew, next thing I can remember was police sirens while I'm in school. So I'm like, dang, that's crazy. So we walking home, and next thing I knew after that, because there was no discussion with me at home that I can remember, even though I'm an eyewitness. I'm the only eyewitness. Nobody talked to me. No cops. Nobody said nothing. Parents, nothing. This dude ended up killing him
Mm.
and putting him in a garbage bag. Chopped his head off. Chopped his penis off. Chopped his legs off. Put him in a black garbage bag, and they found his body floating in Lake Michigan.
Mm.
That's how they found him. Turns out the dude was about, at the time, 19 to 20 years old, strung out on heroin. He was a drug addict. He had issues.
Okay.
Now, I don't understand the demonic aspect of his drug use or whatever, you know, but cutting people up because you're on drugs, that's unexcusable. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah. So, but, you know, that aside, that being said, the dude had issues, he had problems, and he ended up killing my boy. And from what I understood years later, you know, it was he had a possibility for parole, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, point of going to jail and all that, you know, technically, what we were taught was to get rehabilitated, so you could fix yourself, so you could correct your law breakingness, you know, and become a law-abiding, productive citizen. This is the 80s. This is the early 80s, right?
Right.
So we fresh out of the 70s. Like this is, you know, so you kind of believe stuff like that back then. You know, now I don't know, but my point is, people who have brought us over here and murdered us by the millions and incarcerated us by the hundreds of thousands, have brutalized us with police, have made laws to incriminate us, discriminate against us, break us financially, and emasculate us. I don't believe they are in any position to create laws or policies that they could or should be able to enforce on someone else as a form of leveling justice against that person, because their track record is emphatically corrupt to its core. They're not qualified on no level to judge somebody else based off of their track record. So for that reason, I say, nah, not in this environment. Y'all should not be qualified to decide if someone else lives or dies with your rules, regulations, and policies, simply because your track record towards a large demographics of people has been astronomically corrupt. So you are not the moral compass in this circumstance.
Okay.
So put the man ever. I agree with that, but you don't get to choose if he live or die. That ain't your place.
Right. All right. Well, joining us is Mike Dub and Ski. Kamal Risto, and the topic, fellas, is the Julius Jones situation. Oklahoma is becoming very, they have this death penalty. They've been having some complaints about how they are proceeding with this death penalty. The question I got for you, Mike, is what are your thoughts on the death penalty in general? Okay, we're going to go to Ski. What are your thoughts on the death penalty, Ski?
I don't believe in no death penalty.
Well, the viewing audience don't know that, man. So
I don't believe in the death penalty.
Okay.
I think the death penalty was put in place again by the powers that be. This is their whole setup again.
Right.
Whole thing up. We can go all the way back. Not to what's my guy? It was. I know the one guy in Oklahoma. They just gave him too much and injecting stuff that
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I think the guy started convulsing and throwing up all over the place, and it was like the wrong medicine.
That penalty was put in place for it, but we can go all the way back to to the little 10-year-old boy. Yeah, dig that. America's so foul.
Oh, you talking about the Black Story, Tony Green?
Home of off the slave ship slaves. They murdered. Yeah, they did the lethal thing on a little boy. Dig that.
Oh yeah. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
he was the youngest one in history.
Yeah,
and I don't even really think he was found. They didn't have no hard evidence against him either.
He was innocent.
He was innocent as ever. But that's what the whole thing is in place for anyway. That's what my profile set up for Negroes like me. Know what I mean?
Y'all think it was like, you think the death penalty is like a legal lynching?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
How can I not be God? I know I harness this power to be God. Dr. Frankensteins and Kevorkians and Hitlers and what's the other dude name? The Russian dude,
Oh, you talking about
King Leopold?
we go down the list of line of them.
I don't think Leopold was Russian.
Maniacs.
But let me play a little devil's advocate, y'all. Okay, one of your loved ones.
Kill Bill Volume 2.0.
Well, let me play devil's advocate here, Ski. One of your loved ones, right, get caught up and get kidnapped, and you want and does harm, and maybe even takes out one of your loved ones. Okay, now you're furious and mad beyond belief. Okay, you want to put your hands around this dude's neck, but you're gonna try to have some faith in the judicial system. You're gonna say, okay, well, y'all handle it, because if y'all don't handle it, I will. So if you don't believe in that, then do you believe in eye for an eye at all? Mike, are you there, Mike? I don't know, he might be on mute. But do you believe in eye for an eye for it all, Black?
No, not when it comes to like killing somebody. I'm not saying that's cool to do, is what I'm saying. Like in this environment, of course I would want to do that. You know what I mean? Like I was just breaking down, when I seen, my boy get kidnapped. He came back murdered with his head missing. You know what I mean? So, and I'm an eyewitness to that. So I mean, of course I gotta feel some kind of way. I gotta process that, as a sympathetic and loving human being towards other people, but for somebody else to do that to somebody I knew, yeah, when you get older, you're gonna want some kind of, vengeance or whatever. You're gonna want to see something done, So I mean, that was probably 15 years before Jeffrey Dahmer, you know what I mean? 20 years before Dahmer came in. So, then you see Dahmer come around and it's like, dang, it's this type of scenario all over again. Ain't no therapy for that because, nobody diagnosed nothing, but you seeing that and you like, yeah, you're gonna feel some kind of way, you know. So when he got whooped down in jail and he got killed, it was like, all right, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that aspect of it. In prison, he got like prison justice or whatever.
What Dahmer did?
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because the dude who killed him, from what I understand, I could be right or wrong. I don't really remember a case that tough, but dude was he was in court singing and all that. The brother that killed him, he was already sentenced to double life, I think. So he didn't have nothing to lose. You know what I mean? But
Right.
So he it's like what you put out there. If it comes back on you, you know, I'm not really tripping like that. I'm not really gonna be, that heartbroken about it.
But here's the thing though, man. I mean, we both say, I mean, we all say, man, look, somebody touch one of our loved ones, man, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? It's so we do have that, a bit of that eye for an eye, mentality. And a lot of people have that. The problem, I guess, I do have with it is it affects our community 17 times more than other communities. Now,
Yeah, it's
not
supposed
double,
to.
not triple, 17 times more
Yeah,
than other
yeah.
communities.
This goes back to my original point, man, where they shouldn't have the right, the ability, the authority, the nothing. They're not in a place to where they can decide who live and dies. They're irresponsible as hell. So ain't no way they supposed to be able to say who lives and dies. They're too corrupt for you to be the one to judge somebody else's corruptness. That's like the doggone blind lead the blind. You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
guilty judging the guilty. How you gonna point a finger and then you got three or four of them pointing right back at you? So who gonna hang you next?
For
right,
all the crimes against humanity. Know what I mean?
right.
Right.
There's plenty of them. They're on trial. We're gonna talk about that next.
It's the epitome of injustice, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's never a jury of your peers. It ain't never your peers sitting there judging you. It's always a jury of your enemies for the
okay.
most part.
Are you there, Mike?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
All right. Man, I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, so we're talking about the Julius Jones, man, and the question on the panel right now is, what are your thoughts about the death penalty in general?
So y'all know what I used to do.
Right.
And
No, we don't know. What you do?
Nah, we ain't gonna say all of that.
but so anyway, there is definitely issues with the judicial system. I don't think that, if there is a case where there's some questions, surrounding somebody being convicted, then do I think that that person should be killed? No, but there's, you got some circumstances where some motherfuckers don't deserve to live after, after what they did.
Right.
I lost my sister, and
Right.
he ended up killing himself. But best believe, if he, if I was been able to get my hands on him, shit,
You would
ain't
have
no
helped
telling
him
what I
out.
would have done.
Right.
So am I gonna be mad at, for, him paying the the price for what he did? No, absolutely not.
Right. Yeah, man. And that's kind of the point I was bringing up to them, is that, you know, the eye for an eye, you know, mentality, because, you know, even though, you know, like you said, there's a lot of people who really don't deserve to continue on. Like, I don't think nobody on this panel, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, that jail is any kind of rehabilitation for certain mindsets. Some people are just sick beyond belief, and if they got another chance to commit the crime or get out of jail, they would do it all over again. And those people are just not, you know, fit to live amongst society. You know, as far as my take on it is, I would say this. As far as the death penalty goes, the problem I have the most with it is that it is way too unfair to our community. It seems to be a form of legal lynching, because we suffer from the bill, or suffer from that law the most, as Black men. So it's like, if you're not going to use it fairly and justly, then get rid of the law altogether. Don't use it as some sort of, you know, extermination tactic specifically for one race and sex of people, you know. But I still can't say that if somebody, like Mike was saying, if somebody, you know, touched one of the loved ones, that I wouldn't want to see that motherfucker gone, for real. You know, I may lay hands on him myself. And so that's kind of the double-edged sword about it.
Then there's consequences for you.
Yeah, it's consequences for me. Yeah, but I probably would be willing to take those consequences. You know what I mean?
The same consequences that the one that did what he did.
The same. Well,
consequences.
Yeah, the same. Look, it's even in the Bible. It's the eye for an eye mentality, man. It's the eye for an eye. You can't.
That script. What? You in the word?
But shit, you think about it, but that's how the streets are.
Yeah, that's how the streets are. You know, I mean,
You know?
especially in some hoods, man. You take out one of the, you know, fellas, and then the rest of the gang is coming after you. Whatever the case may be. That's you know, hood politics for the most part. You know what I mean?
For forgiveness at the end of the day. Yeah, for justice here.
I don't know how much y'all watched it, but do y'all think that he's Julius Jones is guilty in any way?
I don't know the details
Right.
of his case. I don't know, you know, what the issues are or what. So I'm not gonna speak on that. What I can say is that, you know, I don't believe a motherfucker just because they say I'm innocent. I don't necessarily believe that.
Right.
You know, because everybody say they didn't do it.
Right. And I guess his family was trying to vouch for him and give him an alibi to say that he was at home. So it's some conflicting information, but the guy that he was rolling with, and this kind of came out, is that he's kind of said that he did it. He kind of confessed while he was in jail. Again, I don't even know how valid that is. You know, that might be somebody in the inside trying to, you know, lessen their, you know, sentence or something. So they just trying to bring up some dirt or whatever. I don't know. But the panel did go, they did recently go have a hearing, and they did ask for clemency. So now it's up to the governor. And the governor got only 2 weeks to try to make a decision as to whether or not they're going to spare this brother. But they did
Well,
pass it.
you know what
But
happened
they
with
did pass it 3-1 though.
Well, that's cool. You know what happened to Tookie Williams when it was in the governor's hands, governor of California. You remember who Tookie Williams was?
Yeah, he was like what, the Crip or the Blood or the Crip?
And the Terminator was
ED.
Yeah, he was one of the founders of the Crips in California.
You said who,
And,
Mike?
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Hoover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when it came down to it, Arnold Schwarzenegger was like, nah, kill him. And
Let's vista, baby.
Yeah,
but they always do that with us, man.
Yeah, but see, that's my issue with them, man. That's my issue. It's not even to them. It's a system. The entire system is working the way I believe it was designed to work.
Right.
And it's designed to keep a symbolic knee on our neck. You know what I mean?
Right,
it's designed to exterminate us, kill us. It's designed for all that stuff.
Right.
So it's only doing what it's supposed to be doing,
Well, here's my thing. I know y'all not big on DNA.
Bro.
Y'all not big on DNA, but the whole thing I feel like is if there is any kind of reasonable doubt, it should be off the table. It really they really should kind of get rid of the law anyway. But if they're going to keep it, it should be only DNA positive type stuff that can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Now I know y'all say y'all don't believe in DNA.
You asked me, the zap is lethal injection.
What's that? Oh, you talking about the jab?
And zapping, poking, Pokemon.
Yeah, that's not a lethal injection, man. That's just immunization. It's like the that's like Rogers. Like you heard about your boy Rogers, right?
Did you say euthanization?
Oh my goodness, y'all tripping, man. Not euthanization, immunization. But yeah, man, it's a very touchy topic, man. You got a lot of people actually really trying to get his back, and he has a lot of following. He had a lot of celebrities even stepping up to go to bat for him.
He got something against him too. You seen your boy Stephen A.
What Stephen A say about Julius Jones?
No, talking about Rogers.
Oh,
he was like he's a straight up liar.
Yeah,
Rogers is a liar, and the other dude was like he's selfish. They start coming for his head, man.
Yeah, but I'm talking about.
I'm seeing a switch like instantly.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Julius, man.
He was coming at Kyrie head too. He just he a good bootlicker.
Yeah. But I'm talking about Julius. He has some people who had his back. You know what I mean? And he had a lot of celebrities backing him. I think even just a lot of people. I think even Kim Kardashian was one of them. It's a lot of NBA players too who advocating for Julius. So hopefully they can prove, first of all, that he didn't do it. Hopefully he didn't do it.
They gave Hank Aaron a lethal injection. They gave Colin Powell a lethal injection.
You still talking about the immune for real, dog? I'm talking about Julius, man. Those things, that's not a lethal injection. I mean, far as we know, ain't nobody pass away from it.
Just tell you that they was okay.
Huh?
It was doing all right.
It was doing all right, but look, a lot of people took it, and nothing happened. So, but we got to stick to the Julius topic, man. And
Hey, what do you think about that? What do you think
nurse
about that Ahmaud Arbery trial?
The first nurse
You
that
think
passed
old girl
out on
deserved
national
the chair?
TV.
you said what, Black?
You think old girl deserved the cop that killed Ahmaud Arbery? What kind of punishment do you think she deserved for walking into his house and murdering him, cold blood?
I mean, hey,
That's the wrong dude.
Yeah, that's Gene something. What's his name?
Yeah. That's the
Bohem
dude
Gene
that
or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah.
What about that?
Yeah, that was and I mean, we can't even talk about that
We got
with
a lot
her.
of people on trial right now for killing Negroes. I know that.
But what I'm saying is we can't even talk about that because she almost got off completely.
We ain't even got one here with Rittenhouse here.
Let alone getting the penalty. So
I'm talking about if you was a judge, if you had a system in place,
I wouldn't have walked down and hugged her and told her it's gonna be all right and handed her a Bible. I could tell you that. You know what I mean? And that's really the messed up part, man, is that it's not even just them, man. Sometimes it's us that don't like. Do y'all remember Meek Mills? Mike, you remember Meek Mills?
Yep.
And he got convicted by, it was a sister. And she sent him to jail, and you know, all because he didn't give her an autograph or something crazy. And I could be wrong about that, but what I'm saying is, we look at each other, even sometimes the same way they look at us, and that's just not acceptable. It's just not acceptable. We'll hand down penalties to each other too, but them when it like do anybody know if Dylan Roof is on the roll or no? Or do his
I believe
stadium
he
have...
is. I believe he is on death row. I could be wrong, but I believe he is.
Yeah, I'm almost positive he is.
Okay. Yeah, because oftentimes, man, they can see a potential in each other. You know what I mean? They can say, "Oh, well, his life is worth sparing." I still see potential in him, but when it come to brothers, nah, they don't see no potential.
Hey, but hey, Mike,
switch.
Hey, Mike.
Yo.
What I'm not sure, like what happened in that case technically, but I'm talking about with the cops that was the first responders there when they apprehended him and took him to like Burger King or something like that. Is that like, how do you see that kind of activity for apprehending somebody who, you know, supposedly had just murdered a bunch of people in the church? Is that normal conduct?
Hell no, that was some straight up bullshit. and if that would have been black, I guarantee you they wouldn't have been taking him to get nothing to eat.
No Whopper, no cheese. They probably would have gave him a nice little black eye. You know what I mean? Or he probably wouldn't even walked out of there. Let's start there.
That's another thing.
You know what I mean?
When you get to these mass shootings, you know, somehow they end up always able to being led away in handcuffs.
Exactly.
You know, and we seem to get shot and killed for a whole lot less.
Facts.
on the regular.
Facts. I mean, brothers can't even sell little swigs or little cigs on the corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bros can't
even. Hey, Mike, what's that?
They can't
what's
even.
What's that?
Spend a fake $20 bill. You know.
Hey, what is that? Immunity that's spoken of, that whenever they go to trial, they have that immunity card they can pull. What is that called?
You talking about for cops?
Yeah,
They
can't
don't
think
get
of
they
the
don't get
name of it.
they don't get the death penalty.
It's qualified immunity. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Bro?
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Qualified immunity. Something
Yeah,
like that.
I don't think that's like a card you could pull. It's just, it's
No,
part
I
of.
just called it that. I just called it that. They don't call it that. I just referred to it as a card because that comes into play, as a defense every time because they're justified. They have that immunity to a certain degree where they can use that as a defense. You know what I mean? We felt this. Now, how true is that though? Too, where if you feel like what qualifies you being scared to the point where you're killing somebody?
So you're saying, defensive, I fear for my safety.
Yeah.
And using that as a defense.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the go-to, that's the go-to thing for anybody to use when they get in that situation. Because what that does is when you go to trial and then you have a jury and you have to convince that jury how do you convince that jury that this officer in that situation didn't fear for his safety? And that's why they use that, because it's hard to prove.
Is that why they started wearing cameras?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
No police officer is going to death row.
No, nope, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, that won't happen.
But this gonna sound like a silly question, but why do they protect officers to the point that they do? Why do they not? Are they not, like, in some cases they're not even able to sue them privately? For things that committed or tap into some of their pensions if they do something, outside of the law, I should say. Now I'm thinking it's because they want to kind of protect the profession. I don't know if anybody could speak on that. Ski, Mike.
Well, see, that's the thing. Whenever you have a trial, and it's up to the jury, it's not up to the judge. The judge don't decide if somebody is guilty or not. All the judge does is, sentence people. So it's always up to them people that's on the stand, and this is why it's important. Why I always tell people, when black people, we don't want to be on, we don't want to be on trials. And when they say a jury of your peers,
mm-hmm.
When you got a black man sitting up there, that's a defendant, and you look over to that jury, and them ain't his peers that's sitting there.
Not at all.
Yeah, well,
that reminds me of a David Chappelle skit.
Well, the whole jury there was all his friends. They had to pick some of them off. These your friends, these your homies. Y'all went to school together. Y'all worked together, and all of his jury, like you said, none of us ain't gonna go. So it's already people handpicked. The powers that be got whoever they wanted in there to be the jury. That's how they did it back in what's that movie, Mississippi Burning?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they get the and I think too, man, prosecutors have way too much power, man. Prosecutors just have way too much power. I think they can actually pick the jury members and everything, right?
No, so what happens is there's a pool of 30-some people, all right, and then they pick the defense and the prosecutor both get certain strikes. They'll eliminate some people right off top for for cause or whatever,
right?
And then after that they go back and forth, eliminating one person at a time until they get to 12 people. So that's how that works. But the problem is that in those 30 people, in that pool of people, if you only got 6 black people to begin with, 4 of them are probably going to get struck.
Right.
So now you end up with a jury with only 2 black people on there.
Right. So why don't they make it more even, as far as diversity?
Because
Men,
we don't show
women.
up. Because we don't show up.
Okay.
And then when we do get, when people do get those subpoenas to be on jury trial, they make sure that they're gonna say whatever they need to say so that they don't get picked.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, see. And that's facts, dude. That's just I'm just telling you how it goes, because I've seen juries get picked, and I'm just looking at this shit like, yeah, that ain't a jury. That wouldn't be a jury of my peers. That ain't a jury of his peers.
Well, yeah. Well, so that kind of falls on us, and we gotta.
It absolutely does.
Yeah, so we gotta start representing and have some representation, especially if we see a brother as a defendant, or a sister, whatever, or just anybody. We really just need to represent at every angle. Really, it don't even matter who.
It need to be our people though, mainly for our people, because we the ones who 17% affected by the death penalty.
No, 17 times.
17 times.
Yes.
Damn.
Yes, we lit up 17 times more than counterparts.
They couldn't even lethally inject Tookie Williams with successfully the first time. They couldn't find his veins. He was all swollen, yoked up, so he had to stick himself.
What?
Yeah, that's a fun fact. Yeah, he had to stick himself. He stuck himself, and then they continued to administer it. But he knew where all his veins was. People who bodybuild and all that, they know where their veins and stuff at. A lot of times they be bulging out, but he was so yoked up, they couldn't even really,
that's kind of odd correctly. Because people who are built and, like you say, yoked up, they got veins popping all over the place.
Yeah, normally.
What I see,
Yeah, this was the report. They couldn't do it initially. So I think one of his last words was, "I'll do it myself."
Wow.
He did it. And then they continued it, of course, but yeah, fun fact.
Yeah, it's a case still worth watching, the Julius Jones joint, man, and trying to hopefully this guy don't hopefully the governor actually pardons him to the point, or at least where he don't get, I don't know the details of whether or not he was involved, but I honestly I don't think he was the shooter. I don't think he was the shooter. There is no evidence to
that's
say
like Rodney
that
Reed too.
Yeah, Rodney Reed was another one,
Yeah, he's going through the same exact thing.
Yeah, so shout out to those brothers. Hopefully, some real justice instead of this vigilante crap that's going on. At least that's how I see it. Everybody got their opinion. They said they should take him out in the back and shoot him. The jury said that. Ain't that some stuff, Mike? The jury said that. So you didn't get a fair trial, because what they want to do is they want somebody head to roll, period. This ain't about justice. This is about taking out as many as you possibly can. But,
Hey, do y'all think...
Go ahead, Black.
Do y'all think black men are the least protected species of man on Earth?
Least protected species?
Well, I'm being a little
right. I get where you're coming from.
But you know what I'm saying. Like, as far as all the breeds of man, are we the least protected?
Well, I don't even really like to look at it as being protected, man. But go ahead.
Yeah. We the least protected. Well, I ain't gonna say that, because now they They're lethal injecting the babies now.
Right.
It's a mandate for the babies right now. Huh. How many babies went missing?
You talking about the juice?
Yeah.
The Jim Jones juice?
Jim Jones juice.
Exactly. I call it the LL.
What do you think about that, Mike?
What was the question again? About
being a protected. Yeah.
Part of me want to say is black women, man.
Yeah.
I think we're viewed as more of a threat.
Right.
But when I think about black women, get it from everybody, including us.
Right.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
That's why I said that.
But I'm talking about as far as the men go.
Hey, I gotta end it out, fellas. Since the BMR covered it, now it's official. Click the like, share, subscribe. We can continue with a part 2 if y'all want us to. But we have to sign out right now. Peace, and stay tuned for more later.